Today we're going to be taking a little look at power chords. What are power chords and why are they so cool and why do we use them a lot in modern rock music? Basically, if we take the first note, the tonic note from a scale, from a major scale, and we bypass that major third, we don't play that at all, or if we're in a minor chord, a minor third, we just play the first note from the scale and the fifth note from the scale. This is why sometimes when you're looking at guitar tabs, it'll say G5, A5, E5. It's the root note and the fifth note from the scale. So if we were to take an example of an A major scale, we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What that creates then is the first and the fifth note, which gives us this power chord, as we call them, which are neither major or minor. So if I was to solo over an A power chord, I could use the A major scale, I could use the A natural minor scale, I could use the A minor pentatonic and so on, because what you're doing is you're creating that flavour, you're taking that flavour from the chord, the minor third or the major third, which determines really which scales you can go for. So if you simplified things, you could play, like I say, the A major scale or the A natural minor scale or the A minor pentatonic. That would be your first thing because, like I say, you're neither major nor minor. So this is why they're very popular in sort of modern rock music from, say, the 70s, 80s, 90s to current day. It's because you get this movable shape. Now, if you're unsure of whether you're going to get to grips with that shape, that two-finger shape, you can actually play this. If you take the sixth string, play something simple like this to get you going, to get used to the sound of power chords. The sixth string, the E, and then we basically play the B with it, which is the second fret of the A string. So it's an open string and the second fret of the fifth string. Together we get... If we take that exact shape and drop it down a string, we get the A, fifth string A, and then we play the second fret of the D string, which is an E, and that gives us that. And then we can take the whole thing and drop it down again. This is just where we're going to stay for now, once we drop it down to there, which is going to be the D string, and then we have an A, which is the second fret of the third string, and that gives us... So when you listen to kind of AC/DC-ish riffs, they're kind of doing... Really simple, one finger, power chord fun. Now, so I would look at something like that. You could even maybe bring this third finger into play on... So I'm just playing the A position there, the A string open and the second fret of the fourth string, and then I'm actually hammering on to the fourth fret of the fourth string, which gives you this. Move it. Now I tend to use a little bit of palm muting on power chords as well. Without power chords muted, I get this. And it's all well and good, but I tend to find I tighten the performance up by... When you listen to songs like Enter Sandman, where they do the... It's really quite staccato, and to get that staccato, that short and detached sound, it's palm muted, more of a... Okay, so utilize this palm mute. It's very important to controlling a lot of overtones and over-ringing strings when you're playing any rock stuff. So now if we were to take this on these notes of the sixth string and go to the third fret, which is a G, and we know that the fifth fret, the fifth note is what we're looking for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That gives us a D. That shape there is a movable pattern. It's G, A, B, C. Remember, E and F and B and C are always together. C, D, E. You can do the same on here, A, B, C, D, E, E and F together, G, A. So when you understand those notes on those two strings, the 6th and the 5th string, you kind of create this bit of a pattern that you can move around with utilising just 2 fingers. Have we got a riff that... Here we go. What about this one? I think. An old classic by Rainbow, I think it was, Since You've Been Gone. So again, you know, you can play that with power chords. It's a very useful thing, and like I say, focus constantly on keeping this palm muting in place, because I can guarantee that you will need to palm mute at some point or other when you're playing power chords. Now we can extend a power chord a little bit further by, if we take, we'll go to the A1, so we're on the 5th fret, the tonic, and the 5th note there of the E, the E note, sorry, the A and the E. You can tell I'm trying to get this done quick, can't you? If we then look at an octave, which is the 7th fret of the D string, we can add that higher octave on, so we get... So this is the one before. This is with the octave. Just thickens it up a little bit, fills it up a little bit. Those are the main kind of power chord shapes that I tend to work with when I'm dealing with any rocky riffs and things like that. They're a great resource to your playing, and they can get you playing some cool rock stuff pretty quick. So experiment, you know, see what you're going on. First of all, try the A and the D and the E power chords in the open positions, and then A, D in the fretted positions, you know, and see what you can come up with. You can create some great little riffs with that, which we'll talk about a few songs and a few riffs over the next few weeks as well. But let me know how you go on with these in the comments. You know, my job, as I always say now, is, because I'm old, is to pass as much of this skills and knowledge that I've acquired over all the years of doing all the recordings and the sessions on to the next generations, or anybody who's struggling, or anybody who just loves rock music. So please like and subscribe to the channel, and of course always drop me a comment. I'll do my best to answer it. If I know the answer, I'll respond with some information for you, and if I don't know the answer, I'm sure I'll find out for you anyway. Okay, so as always from me, thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon.